On the news tonight, celebrating the virtues of womanhood as Nigeria marks International Women's Day.
National Women's Day is more than just a one-day event. It is a global movement.
President Tinubu directs security agencies to rescue victims of abductions in Borno and Kaduna states as First Lady calls for capital punishment for kidnappers.
What they are doing is trying to kill our future.
Plus, Nasani advancing the role of women in Nigeria.
We must ensure that we remove cultural biases and let the women take their rightful places.
Hello and welcome to the Network News. I'm Lami Ali. Adiola Kameakeri will be joining us later in Lagos. And also on the news tonight, the Vice Chairman of Nasani, Halilu Rada, speaks on Nasani's Delta Initiative. You can follow this broadcast live on nta.ng/live and on our other social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. Now, security agencies in Kaduna have intensified surveillance and deployed more personnel on ground to track down the bandits responsible for the abduction of pupils at Kuriga village during morning assembly. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports that the state governor, Ubasani, who visited the affected school, assured the parents of government's commitments to ensure that missing children return home unharmed.
This is a situation at Kuriga village along Kaduna-Birnungwari Road after the school raid, which many pupils are taken hostage by the bandits who stormed the school during morning assembly. It's not clear how many children have been abducted from the school, but security agencies have been deployed to the area to rescue the missing children. The Connected Governor Obasani is here for on-the-spot assessment and to hear directly from the parents of the victims.
I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional leaders here, as well as the youth, to ensure that every child return back home by the grace of God.
At the time of filing in this report, about 25 students have escaped from the hands of the kidnappers, while security agencies are making effort to rescue the remaining children still missing. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajinki, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has condemned what he describes as heinous incidents of abduction involving very vulnerable victims, internally displaced persons in Borno State and students in Kaduna State. Consequently, the president directed security and intelligence agencies to immediately rescue the victims and ensure that justice is served against the perpetrators of these abominable acts. He sympathizes with the families of the victims, assuring them that they will soon be reunited with their loved ones. Similarly, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has condemned the mass abductions by suspected terrorists and bandits in Borno and Kaduna states within 2 days. Reacting to both incidents, the Speaker charged the military and other security agencies to go after the abductors and rescue the victims. He says the 10th House under his leadership will do everything possible legislatively to increase the capacity of the military and paramilitary agencies towards securing lives and property across Nigeria. Now, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says convicted kidnappers deserve capital punishment for abducting school children and attacking the future of the country. She made the call at a meeting with APC progressive women who visited her as the villa to mark this year's International Women's Day. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo has the story.
The news of the kidnapping of over 200 students from their school in Kuruga, Kaduna State, coming on the heels of a similar one at an IDP camp in Borno State, is one too many. For Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, enough is enough.
Once we take hold of them, they deserve capital punishment. What they are doing is trying to kill our future, and the state governors should do something, and the lawmakers, especially the lawmakers of each state.
She shared similar concern with leadership of APC Progressive Women who were at the villa to mark this year's International Women's Day with her. She urged them to train their children and steer them away from the allure of crime, particularly kidnapping. The First Lady called for a shift in national mindset to one that sees women empowerment as a strategy to build the future of the nation rather than as an act of charity.
Let us all come together, bond and love one another. Each of you should commit to pull a sister up, one at a time.
For the APC Progressive Women, the theme for the 2024 celebration, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, resonates with the Renewed Hope initiative of the First Lady, which has empowered many women in the country.
One crucial aspect that cannot be overlooked is the First Lady's unwavering commitment and responsiveness to the yearning of Nigerian women, senior citizens and children.
Meanwhile, in the spirit of celebrating the International Women's Day, the first truckloads of food items donated by the RHI have been delivered to IDP camps and people living with disabilities in the Federal Capital Territory. Wife of the Vice President, Nana Shetima, who handed over the items on behalf of Nigeria's First Lady, says it is part of a food outreach carried out under the Social Investment Program of the RHI.
We need more partners for us to reach out to the downtrodden.
Mandate Secretary for Women Affairs in the FCT, Dayo Laniyo, while taking delivery of the items, says with the gesture, the First Lady has inspired an end to hunger among the beneficiaries. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And President Bola Tinubu celebrates the pivot of the nation, Nigerian women, on the occasion of International Women's Day. He acknowledges the role of women in nation building, emphasizing that no doubt Nigerian women are instrumental to the development, growth and greatness of the nation. The president affirms that in every field of human endeavor, the achievements of Nigerian women have become a testament to the resilience, strength, courage and ingenuity of all women across the world. The president added that his administration is focused on providing investments in educating the girl child while fostering inclusive programs and initiatives that bolster their active roles in the areas of knowledge, science, technology, research and innovation into the future. Similarly, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, congratulates women on the occasion of the 2024 International Day of Women, saying they deserve all the respect. Eulogizing the resilient spirit of the Nigerian women, Akpabio appreciates their daily struggles, describing them as resilient, industrious and unwavering. Akpabio notes that the campaign theme of the 2024 International Women's Day celebration, Inspire Inclusion, was in tune with the thinking of the 10th Senate, which is working assiduously to enact laws that would increase girl-child enrollment in schools, fight against sexual exploitation, and generally give what is due to the women folk. Also, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, restates his commitments to empowering and including women in politics and governance. While congratulating women in Nigeria, Africa, and across the world, Speaker Abbas noted their immeasurable contributions to society, especially as mothers in the homes who raise leaders in society. On his part, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, says the House Committee on Constitutional Review, which he chairs, will ensure that the ongoing constitutional alteration process will address the issues of gender imbalance. Now, today marks another milestone in the calendar of the female gender, an opportunity to assess their gains and pains with a view to exploring new ways and techniques of improving their livelihood generally. Mamsodi Mendati has this special report on the journey for Nigerian women so far.
see a small child of 6 years old selling pure water, and it's not supposed to be so. And she's supposed to be in school learning. She's smart. She has brain. If they take her to school, she'll be a leader of tomorrow.
So I want to tell the government and tell every person to invest in children because they are not a waste of time.
Everyone should know that we should be given a chance. We're not saying we want to disrespect our elders, but we're saying we want to be heard as well.
Young girls today, but women tomorrow, and prospective leaders in the making. A display of these innovations produced through a collaboration of both male and female speak volumes to the kind of acceleration and development to expect when the society invests in the female gender.
When you talk about investing in women, for me, I think we need to invest more in the girl child. Today in Nigeria, we have out-of-school children, and bulk of that number are girls. So it is a deficit in our development stride in this country. And we need to talk about investing in providing equal opportunity.
The 8th of March annually provides women the world over a central platform to assess their performance and explore new strategies to surmount their challenges. This year's focus on the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, many say is apt.
Economic empowerment, which this ministry will be able to get a whole lot of economic empowerment machines, like garri making machines, cassava, rice, beans, corn, even bitter leaf, in such a way that women will not suffer so much anymore.
If you look at these exhibitions now, you see the creativity of all Nigerian women in different fields. All these are things that we normally import and we buy at a very high cost. We should invest in our women. Our women have all it takes.
The aim is to attain gender equality for all. Momso Damien, that NTA News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says investing in women would spark change and facilitate smooth transition to a healthier and safer as well as equal society. This was his message as the internally displaced persons camp, Durumi, Abuja, as part of activities to mark International Women's Day. Ian Ray John brings us the details.
Nigerian women play a critical role in the stability, progress and development of the country. Hence, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is committed to promoting gender equality and improving the conditions of disadvantaged women through social intervention programs. The Senate President, represented by his Special Advisor, Special Duties, Ikechukwu Ugwegede, visited the IDP camp in Durumi, Abuja, to sensitize women as well as distribute palliatives.
We need to encourage them. As they were displaced, they need to go back to their homes. And even when they are not going back to their home, we must make them comfortable.
And he keeps promising that even now as a Senate President, every legislation on women, that he will make sure that is taken to the last bit.
All vices that promote exclusion should be done away with, like child marriage.
Routine immunization, including HPV, was administered on children. Meanwhile, the federal government is sustaining interventions to empower women as Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, celebrates Women's Day with the unveiling of new brand for job creation and rural industrialization, targeting women as major beneficiaries.
First, we're democratizing access to finance for women, all the women-owned entrepreneurs. We have different schemes. One has been announced by His Excellency the President, which is the loans for businesses in manufacturing, small businesses, and also grants for women-owned businesses.
Similarly, wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Egbetukun, empowers about 300 widows of police officers and men who paid the supreme price in the line of duty with startups as she celebrates International Women's Day with them.
Let us all continue to extend our hands to women in need and pledge our support to those who never give up despite facing countless challenges.
In Abuja, Ian Ray John, NTA News.
Now, in recognition of the place of women empowerment in building a viable economy, there is this clamor for women's total inclusivity in decision-making, especially on matters relating to them. The clamor becomes loud and clear as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark 2024 International Women's Day celebration. Ngozi Technical brings us the story.
With united voices in this anthem, Nigerian women make case for gender equality, an end to violence against them, as well as societal and cultural norms that hinder women from attaining their full potentials. The women also advocate gender inclusion in decision-making corridors and in the nation's political sphere.
If you want to do training, you must package it together with empowerment. You don't train our women and leave them while in the streets. You don't do that.
So in reviewing ourselves to count her in, and so what are you doing from your family level itself? What influence are you having on the next girl?
Any progress we make in Nigeria will translate into progress not only in the sub-region, but in the continent and globally speaking.
We believe that working hand in hand and empowering women in Nigeria would change our fortunes. A powerful and well-empowered woman means that families will be well taken care of.
Emphasis for this year's celebration is on upholding the rights of women and scaling up economic empowerment of women across Nigeria, with the theme, Count Her In, accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. Ngozi Technical continues.
You're still on to the network news. We're taking a break now. More stories on International Women's Day on the other side of the news. Do stay tuned. You're welcome back. No Woman, No Cry is the title of Bob Marley's famous song on women. It best describes how women around the world bear the burden of others. Members of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association marked this year's International Women's Day in color and style, ruminating on this famous track. Memso Damian Dutty has the details.
One woman at a time, in their twos and clusters, wives of Nigerian Army officers trooped to the AHQ officers' mess in Asokoro, Abuja, their excitement visible in the hugs and beaming smiles to the lens of the cameras. Talking it, labbing for it, working to create awareness and some dance steps, whichever way the message can be passed. Then the women are ready to deploy such to demand for inclusivity in all spheres of national development. Then to a symposium tapped
Inspire Inclusion as an organization that prides itself on being gender sensitive and inspires its female personnel to aspire to be whatever they can be.
We work together to improve Nigeria.
National Women's Day is more than just a one-day event. It is a global movement which recognizes the crucial role women play in developing the society and highlights the need to address gender gaps and work towards creating a world where women have equal opportunities in all aspects of life.
Yes, here, all the skills and techniques required to fit into opportunities as they present themselves were unraveled, with room for questions on pressing issues.
A day specially set aside to honor the virtues of women and also to reaffirm commitment towards recognizing the need for the promotion of gender equality and empowerment of women.
A big gap that we intend to sensitize the world about and to, by our actions, close.
Gender equality is a fundamental human right. And indeed, it's looking at placing equal value for men, women, boys, girls.
Though the celebration may have ended, but the issues of investing in women will keep resonating for a lifetime. Momso Damien Lati, NTA News.
Now, in line with its mandate and corporate responsibility of addressing major challenges facing micro, small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria, the Development Bank PLC, one of the leading specialized banks in Nigeria, has celebrated International Women's Day, tagged Celebrating Amazons in the Marketplace. Omenka Marachiku reports that the bank celebrated the day with women as the Wuye ultra-modern market, Abuja, with a reminder on the importance of good health.
National Women's Day is a global day celebrated annually on 8th of March as a focal point in the women's rights, recognizing the importance of women in the society and their roles in nation building. Development Bank of Nigeria is using the day to impart more women by bringing them together in knowledge sharing.
Last year we were in the northeast and northwest. We went around 6 states in northern Nigeria to ensure that women have access to finance, have access to knowledge, to grow their business and to develop their business. So this is very important.
Mandate Secretary for Women and Children in the FCT, Adebayo Benjamin, commended the bank for their initiative in ensuring that women have financial independence.
It is wealth creation. But wealth creation is a vacuum without health. And that is why the mandate for women's health in the FCT, even with the recently launched RHIS program, the Renewed Insurance Scheme, has reached in for the very first time to every locality in the FCT.
Development Bank of Nigeria has over the years promotes entrepreneurship spirit among the rural women in Nigeria. In Abuja, Umenka Mrachuku, NTA News.
Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, Khalil Suleiman Halilu, says the engineering profession is witnessing a paradigm shift to correct gender imbalance in Nigeria. This came to the fore during the unveiling of a program tagged Developing Engineering Leaders through its Delta, a project of the Presidential Implementation Committee on Technology Transfer and NASENI, aimed at advancing the role of women in engineering. Ibrahim Bello Gunda has the story.
Developing engineering leaders through her is an initiative that seeks to create opportunities for women in engineering by supporting their innovation as well as mentoring and developing their ideas into start-up companies. Chairman, Presidential Implementation Committee on Technology Transfer, Dr. Mohammed Dahiru, and the Chief Executive Officer of NASENI, Khalil Suleiman, stated that the choice of International Women's Day to launch the program is deliberate, as it seeks to improve Nigerian women participation in engineering profession, rated at 5% against global average of 28%. They believe the success of the first phase will be projected to spur school-age girls across the country to favor their choice of engineering as a lifetime career.
Today's call for proposal from young women marks the beginning of a chain of events which are expected to lead to engineering startup companies owned and run by women.
Speakers highlighted how the initiative will address existing gender imbalance in the study and practice of engineering in Nigeria by inspiring the next generation of female engineers.
We must ensure that we give credit to our women. We must ensure that we remove cultural biases and let the women take their rightful places.
Offer a very great platform to nurture and empower women engineers, providing them with the skills, mentorship, and support they need to thrive in their careers.
Delta program will commence online on Saturday, 9th March for qualified female engineers to showcase their innovation and ideas. In Abuja, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
All right, to talk more on this project of NASENI, that is Delta, we have with us in the studio the Vice Chairman of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, Mr. Khalil Halilu. Now, Mr. Khalil, you're welcome to our studio.
Welcome and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much. Now, we want you to tell us some more details, give us more details about this new project of NASENI, that is the Delta project, and what it aims to achieve.
Well, it is no longer news that NASENI is going through a complete transformation where we intend to bring our researches and prototypes into commercial products and also give opportunities to small and medium enterprises across the nation. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a Senate committee on NASENI visited us, to see how we're doing. And as promised last year, I was here in NTA. We promised we are going to launch products first quarter of this year. And we've launched 3 products from the electric keke napep to solar home systems, and also solar irrigation equipment to support Mr. President's Irrigate Nigeria project, which is part of the Renewed Hope agenda. And today we launched the DELTA program, which is developing engineering leaders through her, in an effort, to encourage more girls and women in engineering. Currently, if you are talking about world standard or world average, in terms of number of women in engineering, is about 28%, while in Nigeria is just 5%. This is completely unacceptable, and we're, carving out resources to deliberately give opportunities for girls and women to showcase their ideas, to showcase their product, to see how we can support them with seed capital, ideas, mentors, to ensure that these products go to market, which is our new direction in the new NASENI.
All right, looking at these new projects which are meant to ensure more women are brought into the engineering ecosystem and ensuring that their ideas are also amplified. So how do you intend to push for this program to ensure that it makes the desired impact?
Well, first of all, we have to give them an unfair advantage. We don't want to mix them, with the rest of people on the or men on the terrain. So we've carved out resources, that will encourage these ideas. From ideas to startup stage to growth stage, we all have funds that we've carved out of our budget, to support their businesses. Mind you, we also have a new technology hub, coming up. The whole idea behind it is you have some, young people that have ideas. You hear, okay, in Katsina, someone has built a generator running on water, and the likes. But it's one thing building, a prototype, and it's another thing taking it to market. So the whole idea behind this hub is to ensure that they get the right kind of support, they get the kind of mentors, partners, so that from just one piece of a product, they take it to prototype, perfect it, and then scale it. It's similar to what we are doing with the Presidential Implementation Committee on Technology Transfer, which is a partnership between Nigeria and Czech Republic. This program has been floating, for about 8 years, and the first assignment Mr. President gave me when I assumed this duty is to ensure that we kickstart this program, and it's already on the run. We have a lot of startups we've supported, and each of these startups have a counterpart that does similar or exactly the same thing in Czech Republic, and they're exchanging knowledge, and we have started seeing products, and before media will scale them and you start seeing them in the market. The whole idea around this new NASENI is we shouldn't keep our research on the shelves or our prototypes on the shelves, but we want it to have an economic impact, and of course that is one of the key things on the Renewed Hope agendas. So what we Nigerians should be expecting soon this year is that they will be able to consume NASENI products. We'll have showrooms across the country, from solar equipments to irrigation equipments, key things that will add value to our economy, and we're ready to play out that.
So it's one thing to come up with projects and another to attract the interest for those who the programs are meant for, especially the women folks, since the intent is to ensure that they reach for the stars. Now, for how long will this project run, and what is the support that the NASENI has put in place to ensure that those that have interest also get the desired support?
Well, our website is going on live tomorrow, to call in for applications for those that are interested, in sharing ideas or products that requires financial mentorship support, production support and the likes. And we have our criteria on the website. It is delta.pict.gov.ng. And this program is going to run, continuously, for at least 5 years, because our intention is to double the number of, women in engineering in the next 5 years of our operations.
Thank you, Mr. Halulu, for sharing those perspectives on the new project for female engineers in Nasani.
Thank you.
In other news, the federal government has inaugurated a committee on the implementation of the recommendations on the review of reports and white paper on the restructuring and rationalization of federal government parastatals, agencies and commissions. Kenneth Nanim reports that the committee, inaugurated by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, is given a 12-week deadline to submit its reports.
Implementation of the white papers on the report, which would involve the major relocation, subsuming or scrapping of some parastatals, agencies and commissions, the SGF says is aimed at reducing cost of governance and streamlining efficiency across the governance value chain. Members of the committee include Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieso, Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reform, Dr. Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters. Both Senate and House of Representatives are also members. Principal Secretary to the President, Hakim Muri Ogunla, and the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Richard Felangwa, are also members.
I want us to be very, very committed to the timeline so that we don't overstep this schedule.
The general guidelines of the committee include to review current mandates to understand the existing functions, responsibilities and objectives outlined in the mandates of the agencies, and also to identify redundancies and overlaps or conflicting objectives among the mandates of different organizational units. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now, a Kano-based business mogul, Adamu Yahaya Mekifi, has inaugurated a 16,000 carrying capacity Jumat Mosque in Kano, built through his foundation, A.Y. Mekifi Islamic Trust. Amin Umar reports that the maiden Friday prayer was attended by the Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf and the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar. Here is the report.
The Maiden Friday sermon delivered by Professor Salisu Shehu, one of the three imams presented to Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf and Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar. This is the state-of-the-art edifice that will serve as an Islamic center, with the main mosque having 4,000 capacity for both male and female wing, while the premises can contain 12,000 worshippers, in addition to more than 20 classrooms.
The place will be maintained by A.Y. Mekifi Islamic Trust.
Can Allah pray that the Almighty Allah increase those who can sacrifice for a cause like this?
This is what people are looking. This is what Nigerians are looking. This is what society are looking. So we always pray for him with a reward of Al-Jannah Firdaus.
Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, who appreciated the religious leaders for their efforts towards guiding their followers, said Kano State will soon improve the conditions of all mosques across the state. The inauguration was attended by Islamic clerics from within and outside Kano, including thousands of Muslim faithful. In Kano, Amin Umar, NTA News.
The Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage will ensure balance of interest for employers and employees in the course of discharging its assignments. Member of the committee, Ahmed Rabiu, said this in Kano as the opening of the Northwest Zonal Public Hearing that brought together stakeholders from the public and private sectors. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
Public hearing is a platform to gain insights, perspectives and recommendations on a workable strategy to ensure that the expected new national minimum wage reflects the evolving economic realities. Employers, employees and labor leaders are key stakeholders at this forum.
These issues are supposed to be looked into
so the minimum wage law will be enforced without the labor unions engaging government.
His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made it clear during inaugurating us that he wants us to come with what will be good for the Nigerian worker.
Representatives of Kano and Katsina state governments assured that their governors are committed to timely and effective implementation of whatever is agreed on at the end of the committee's assignment.
We will equally commit ourselves to its full implementation when fully on course.
My expert principal is doing very well in terms of the rights and privileges of workers in Katsina State.
Apart from oral presentations, memoranda were also submitted at the Northwest Public Hearing. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The Northeast Ambassadors Group has reassured commitments to stabilization of the sub-region affected by 13 years of Boko Haram insurgency. This came to the fore when the group, led by the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Montgomery, paid courtesy visit on Governor Babagana Umar Zulum as part of the group's official engagements in Borno State. Mohammed Goni has the reports.
The 29-member Northeast Ambassadors Group comprises bilateral partners, the UN family, the EU, international finance institutions, development and donor partners committed to stabilization, insecurity and development of the Northeast sub-region bedeviled by over a decade-long security challenges.
Listen and learn, and there's a great deal of documentation that the governor's team has provided us, and our first impressions are very positive that recent progress has been made, and we are looking forward to seeing how we as international partners, with the governor and his government in the lead, can get behind the plans being put in place.
Within the last 2 years, we received 162,000 repentant Boko Haram members and their families. This is huge.
Professor Zulum, who dwelt on the ongoing voluntary resettlement of displaced citizens to pave the way for official closure of IDP's camp, also appealed to the donors and development partners to support provision of 84,000 houses for resettlement, urging them also to scale off intervention through the Regional Stabilization Fund as well as durable solution pathways. Mohammed Goni.
Network News continues in Lagos with Deola guiding us through the reports. Hello, Deola.
Hello, Lami. While Nigeria is focusing on unlocking huge economic opportunities inherent in its capacity as the largest producer of cassava, it is banking on research institutes like the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, FIRO, to lead the way through fabrication of more machines that will save the country's foreign exchange. While commending FIRO for its lead role in research and development in the country, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Geoffrey Naji, said the invention prowess of the institute is in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu on Nigeria's ambitious plan of becoming a manufacturing hub. Michael Olaleye reports.
A research institute of world-class status, obviously practicing what it preaches. This is evident with the array of inventions on display. This cassava processing pilot plant is one of the interventions of the institute, with another modern integrated plant constructed in Nasarawa State. This farm-gate mobile cassava processor fabrication won FIRO an award for being a companion for rural farmers. The minister said the institute is living up to its mandate, advising the management to drive more researches into reality as a way of ending importation of food items and machines.
We soon start producing for this country everything we need. We don't have to waste, the mega dollar we have, we have to make more money exporting than importing.
The Director General of FIRO pledged to support the federal government in terms of commercializing its over 250 researches, promising to prioritize training, so as to meet the country's demand in line with the Renewed Hope agenda.
We've started research on how to preserve. You know, most of this food, we talk of food. Farmers should start farming some grains, vegetables and the rest. And we are not even thinking about how to preserve it. FIRO has come out with another technology that these tomato traders, once they bring their tomato to the market, you can put the machine, and the machine will absorb the ethylene, and then it will extend the shelf life up to a week.
The satisfaction for the institute is that the minister is now aware of FIRO's strength and already advocating funding to support more research ventures. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The federal government is committed to the stabilization of a nation's economy by ensuring increasing productivity. This was stated by the coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, at the Southwest Tripartite National Minimum Wage Committee meeting in Lagos. Larry Bilay reports.
The move by the federal government to ensure a fair and decent living wage for an average Nigerian worker is now in motion, with mechanisms for an holistic deliberation on the way forward. Southwest stakeholders, including the Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke, and other top government functionaries, reviewed and made recommendations.
Increase in productivity is key. As we increase salaries to maintain the balance that we need in the economy, there must be, by the employers in particular, investment in technology so that the productivity of the workers increases.
As you offer opinion on the minimum wage, I will acknowledge all workers, both in the private sector and public service, to improve their productivity.
I'm happy that this tripartite negotiation is taking place at the right time, that we have a president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who campaigned, he danced for it, he prayed for it, that if he's elected, as he has been elected, he will not only pay minimum wage, but he will pay living wage.
The federal government, recognizing the significance of the new minimum wage, had set up the committee to achieve a comprehensive package that will impact positively on the economy. In Lagos, Larry Bilay, NTA News.
And we're done from here. We'll take a break, and more news will be just after that. To stay.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed executive orders to reform the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Now, the special advisor to the president on energy, Olu Vahejan, says these orders are designed to improve the investments climate and position Nigeria as the preferred destination for oil and gas investment in Africa. Lydia Sampson has the reports.
Reeling out three policy directions of the executive orders on oil and gas, Special Advisor to the President on Energy says the executive orders will also promote cost efficiency in local content requirement, as well as introduce fiscal incentives for non-associated gas, midstream and deep water developments. This is expected to streamline the contracting process and compress the contracting cycles to 6 months or less.
We intend to then also ensure that we have enough into the industries, into commercial businesses, because frankly that is more cost competitive and gas has to play a role given the levels of affordability.
This, she acknowledged, is in line with the President's resolve at creating conducive business environment for the sector, also create employment across the value chains.
To achieve these objectives, the President has issued a presidential directive to streamline and clarify the scope of the two regulators in the petroleum sector. This will provide certainty and create a conducive environment.
She's optimistic that the executive order and other ongoing reforms in the oil and gas sector will change the narrative of Nigeria, accounting for only 4% of Africa's oil and gas investment, despite having 38%. She applauded the media for playing an integral role in translating government policies. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
We take another set of messages. Do stay tuned. Now that's all we have time for on Network News tonight. We thank you for watching. Do have a beautiful weekend. I am Lami Ali.